I need to solve for y, right? So on my first equation, which is equation A here, I don't have a y.
That is sad. It's undefined.
That's not true.
It's a lie.
Do I have a y or not?
No. I don't think so.
Yes.
What is my y? F of x is y, right? Remember I told you f of x, g of x, h of x, s of x, or anything of x is what? Y. So I do have a y. I can just rewrite it as y equals, beautiful. What's my slope? 3. And is it okay if I put it over 1? 3 over 1, yes? Okay. Then I'm going to take line B, right? And line B says 6x plus 2y equals 5. What do I have to do to get the y by itself? Here's my y. I'm just going to highlight it. Here's my y. I need that to be by itself. So what am I going to do first? Subtract what? Subtract the 6x. Yes. Great. And then I get 2y left, right? Equals, because these 6's go away. And on this side, they're not like terms, so I get left with negative 6x plus 5. Sorry, you guys, I turned my volume up to watch that video, and then I didn't turn it back down, so we're getting some loud beeps. Okay, is my y by itself? No, why? There's a 2 with the y. So what do I do with that 2? I divide by 2. Excellent. And I get y equals, what's negative 6 divided by 2? Negative 3. Plus, 5's not an even number, so 2 doesn't go into it, right? So I'm just going to leave it as 5 halves. It's a 2. Sorry. Okay, what's my slope? Okay, first question, are they the same slope? So they're not parallel, right? Okay, are they opposites of each other? Yeah, because one's negative, one's positive. Great. Are they reciprocals of each other? Yes. What's a reciprocal? Reciprocals where I take the fraction, right? And what do I do to it?
Flip it.
Flip it. That's a reciprocal. So are they reciprocals?
Yes.
So one's 3 over 1. Is the other 1 over 3? So are they perpendicular? No, because they're not negative reciprocals of each other, right? So what are they? Neither.
Oh.
Did you say they were perpendicular? You did, didn't you? They're not reciprocals. You keep saying yes, and we keep saying no, and you're saying yes. Okay, we're going to do the same thing, right? So I've got A and I've got B. So A is 2x minus 1 equals y. Is the y by itself? Yes. Yeah. I don't care if it's on the other side of the equation. It's by itself, right? So I don't have to do anything to it. So what's my slope? 2. Awesome. 2 over 1. Beautiful. Doesn't matter where the y is is by itself, right? B. 2y minus 1.
Oh, we're doing the question. That's easy.
Okay, so is my y by itself? What do I need to do first? Add the 4 first. Okay. Add the 4. Beautiful. You guys, we're going to keep doing this until you guys know what to do, right? Because I got to get the y, because it's a minus 4. See, I got to do the opposite, right? If it's a negative, I want to do the opposite. Is that a little better?
Maybe.
Okay. So I'm going to get 2y equals 4x plus 7. And now what am I going to do? Divide by 2 everywhere. Beautiful. So y is going to equal 4 divided by 2 is 2x plus 7 halves. What's my slope? 2 over 1. Are my slopes the same? Yes. Is the other number with it the different? Yeah, so I have a negative 1 here And I have a 7 here. So they're different. So they are parallel. Parallel. Okay? We just spent 2 days working on that, right? Or you had a headache and were sleeping for 2 days.
Wonder who that was.
Don't know. We don't know who that was.
She sounds tall.
Did you just say she sounds tall?
How do you sound tall?
I didn't. It was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do the Pythagorean theorem. How many of you guys have heard of the Pythagorean theorem? Awesome. All of you guys have heard it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
great.
Yeah, probably. Okay. You probably should have heard of it last year too if you were attending class. Just going to say that. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh?
What you trying to say?
No, I was talking to these guys. But if it fits you too. Well, you're only in here because you didn't do well last year, right?
Not sure. But
Hey, I didn't do that bad.
hey, I got a D minus.
You got a what?
D minus.
Oh, well, we're going to bring that up, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Pythagorean theorem says in a right triangle, it has to be a right triangle. If it's not a right triangle, Pythagorean theorem does not work. Okay? The square of the long side equals the sum of the square of the other two sides. Kind of wordy, right? Kind of ugly. But here's a little picture of it. So the square, the long side here, it's a square. It kind of looks kind of wanky, right? It's kind of not, doesn't look like a square, but it is. It's a square. The square of this side equals the square of these two squares. So a squared. What happened? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. That's our formula. A squared plus b squared equals. So I take the side, I square it, right? The long side is always the hypotenuse. All we're looking for today is just the hypotenuse. We're not going to find any other side. We're going to do that later in the year. Okay, so we're just finding the long side today only. Okay? So I'm going to take a squared, which is one of the legs. B squared is one of the legs. Do I care which one's A or B?
Yes. No.
I don't care. I only care which one's C. So we have to make sure that one's in the right spot. Okay? So here we go. In a right triangle, find the length of the side not given. Round to the nearest decimal point. Okay, so we're rounding to a decimal point, yes?
I don't like rounding.
Oy.
I know.
So I've got, they tell me which one's A and B, so I'm going to put it in my formula. 8 squared plus 15 squared equals C squared.
It is flowing.
Shh. Who can tell me what 8 squared is?
It's 64.
A square is 4.
Yeah,
64.
64. Great.
I was right.
Yes, you were. How about 15 squared?
225.
235.
225.
Oh, wow.
We
Oh
didn't
no,
do the calculator.
calculator.
Get your calculator out, man. Right? Equals C squared. So 225 plus 64.
89.
289 equals C squared. Okay? We're not done.
That's it? Oh.
No. I know that's pretty easy, right, to that point, but I don't want C squared. I want C. I want to know what C is, not C squared. Does that make sense? No.
You find the square root of that one.
Yes. Okay, if it was 2C, then I would divide by 2. But it's C squared. So how do I undo a square? No. No.
The square root.
I square root it. Okay? So divide undoes times, right? And subtract undoes add. Square root undoes square. Does that make sense? Square root. So I'm going to square root the C. And if I square root one side, the equal sign, I have to square root the other, right? So I'm going to square root this side. So I get C equals the square root of 289, 17.
Oh, yeah.
Because she put it in her calculator, honey.
I got 17.
Come on, calculators are smarter than us.
Are you using your phone or are you using a calculator? A calculator actually has a square root button. It looks like this little thing I drew on the board right there. In order to do the square roots, you're going to need a calculator. Okay? On your phone, I actually think it says SQRT. Or it has, some of them say SQRT, some of them actually has a little square root button. And you probably have to turn your phone sideways.
Yeah.
Okay? Unless you have Desmos. Desmos actually.
How do you write it?
Do the square root button and then 289.
You said what is it called? Then it's
Let me come look.
Square root
What is
of
it called on
yours
the
is
cell phone?
3.
Yeah, I said
You're gonna
square
do,
root to 3 and B.
the square root, this one.
This
The
one,
2 in it.
two.
The square root with the 2 in it on your phone. Square root 289. Clear it, you gotta clear it first. You gotta do the square root button. It's the second and then the blue one. Okay. You have to turn it sideways. It's this one. Square 2. Okay? And in your iPhone, you're probably gonna have to enter 289 first and then hit the square root button. Because iPhones are weird. I just want to say that, right? iPhones, you have to do it backwards. That's why I kind of like Desmos. If you guys haven't downloaded Desmos on your phone yet, Desmos is much better. Just gonna say. Okay. Because the Apple phone's kind of backwards. Okay, shall we try number 2? We're going to do this exact same thing. So I'm going to do 6 squared plus 13 squared equals c squared. So 6 squared is?
36.
36, yes. And 13 squared is? It's 169. It is.
Hold on, man. 13. 169.
Plus 36. 205?
205.
Okay, I have c squared, right? But I want c, so what am I going to do?
What is that thing called again?
Square root.
There you go.
I'm going to square root it. So I've got c equals what? Put it in your calculator. I'm going to get Desmos out because this one annoys me. I like Desmos.
What the? No, bro. That's what I'm saying. The numbers is bogus.
I have 14.3.
Okay, it says, can I point this out? It says round to 1 decimal point.
Oh, decimal point. Okay.
So what is it rounded to 1 decimal point?
3.
14.3.
Okay.
Right? There's the numbers in front of the decimal, and then you have to have 1 decimal place.
Wait, how do you put it on the calculator?
Oh, on the blue one, you do the blue shift key and then the x squared. Look over the x squared button. You'll see the little square root button. So you have to hit that and then put 205. So do the blue shift key and then that and then do 205. And it should be inside the little house. The square root house. Got it? Yeah. So I'm going to do second x squared. See, they've got the little square root key. 205.
Square root.
Does that make sense? Yeah, you gotta sit that way. So any of these little blue keys that are on here, you have to hit that one first. Okay? Okay, you guys do A and B.
I got it done already.
Nice job. Oh, I already know A. Woo. Okay, here we go. Right?
You.
3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. 9 plus 16 equals c squared.
25 squared is 5.
5. Huh? I just know that 3, 4, and 5 is the right triangle. Sorry.
You know, every time I read Pythagorean theorem, that was hard. This is so easy.
It is easy. They told you thought it was hard?
Yeah.
That's a big word.
Long words,
That's
you
a
know.
big word.
Oh, because it's Pythagorean?
Yeah.
Pythagorean?
Hypotenuse, like
You got a Y in that word.
And it's just a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? Super easy. It will get a little I'm not gonna lie to you. Hey, once we do it again later and we're looking for one of the sides instead of the hypotenuse, it will get a little bit harder, but not much. Okay? Right now we're just looking for the hypotenuse because what we're doing tomorrow. So we're setting up what we're doing tomorrow. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're setting up what we're doing tomorrow. Okay? Distance formula. So 5 squared plus 24 squared equals c squared. So what's 5 squared?
25.
24 squared? You haven't got that done yet?
Nah, yeah, I said 25. I said 24, so this my head.
Oh, it's 24 squared. Is what?
Oh, okay, my fault.
That ends with a 2.
500 what?
76.
Yeah,
Yeah.
572.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
76.
Equals c squared.
601.
601 equals c squared.
24.5, I'm guessing.
24.5.
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful.
That's crazy.
Not bad, right? You guys are like, this is so easy.
Why is there on the bed?
Oh, because, well, the definition is it's a right triangle, right? So now I have some right triangles. Does it matter which one's A or B? No, it only matters which one is C. And which one's C on my triangle? X, the right triangle. So if you don't know which one it is, my little right triangle sign forms an arrow, right? It forms an arrow that points to my longest side. So that one side is always C. Does that make sense? So that means I have 48 squared plus 64 squared equals x squared.
Oh, okay.
It's still a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Don't freak out. Okay? He was like, what is she doing to me? 48 times 48 is 2304. 64 times 64 is, woo, 4096.
That's a big number.
I know. 2304 is 6400.
Hey man, let me do it.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but this is my number. You do the letters.
I'm talking about my phone.
Oh,
It won't let me turn.
I hate it when my phone doesn't let me do that. X equals, I think it's 80. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
80? Square root of 64 is 8, and then 2 zeros gives me 1 0. Yeah, 80. Okay? You guys are like, we can do this. You guys are all excited. I like this.
This is nice.
The easiest thing I've done since 5th grade.
Yeah, exactly. Just a fancy word.
Middle school of English.
Just fancy words.
This is easier than the 7th grade math.
Oh, Lord.
For sure, for sure.
Okay, so tell me how to set this one up. What will I do?
4 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared.
Can I say X? Because that's the variable it gave me.
16 plus
Okay. So 16 plus
64 equals 80. A squared.
and then I do what?
Think about, whoa. Oh, okay.
I square root, right?
Yes, ma'am. And the answer to that will give you
8 point something.
8.9.
It's almost 9 because square root of 81 is 9. So it's got to almost be 9. Almost.
But the number's 4, so it's going to round down.
It can't be 9 because square root of 81 is 9. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so you guys have 6 problems to do. Go for it.
No, just help me. I'm trying to my downfall further off me.
Square.
If you can.
You're wrong. Why are you trying to fight people who live with you?
That was all night.
Oh, then he just sucks.
Yeah.
There are people are commenting under my video and I feel like I'm bullying them, but that's what you get.
Everything 8
No,
comments.
they're just being dumb.
Like,
Like,
Oh, what a good day. No, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, there's the first two answers for A and B. 197 and 125.
Yes, yeah. I told you this was my number, bro. Look, and the longest number of all time. Alright. Wait, which one was the? Can you go one more time, please?
Yeah. I didn't actually figure out what 44 squared is or 117 squared was. Sorry.
Alright, you can go back.
Okay. Is that what you guys got? Square root. X is going to be 87. Oops. I need a new line. Square root 87 squared plus 6 squared. Ooh. 145. D is 145. You didn't get 145? It's 5.65. So because that second number is a 5, the 5 runs up to the 6 runs up to a 7. So remember, it's on my calculator, it's a 5.65, right? Because this is a 5, this number rounds up, so it's 5.7.
My phone gave me a 6 flat.
On this one?
You don't see it?
No.
No.
To be 6 flat, it'd have to be 36. And 16 plus 16.
Hold on, wrong, bro.
16 plus 16 is not 36. It's 32.
Oh, see, I did that one off the back of my head.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes
Okay. So x squared equals 16 squared plus 10 squared. Is that okay, Chris? Does that make sense? Okay. Square root 16 squared plus 10 squared. Oh, didn't square the 16. Squared. There we go. 18 is approximately equal to 18.9.
I got 18.8.
Yes, because in the calculator it's 18.86. So because that 6 is greater, right? Round up. We're rounding, not truncating. Okay. X squared equals 5 squared plus 9 squared. So x is going to equal, it's probably going to be approximately equal to, I probably shouldn't have done that. 5, oh, I got pi instead of square root, a square root. Oops, no. Dang. Square root, 5 squared plus 9 squared, 10.3. Approximately equal to 10.3. Again, did you get 10.2? Guess what you didn't do? Round up. Yeah. Okay, guys, you got to remember, if it's 5 or above, I've got to round up, right? If it's 4 or below, I don't round. Yeah? Okay.